International health insurance, what does it cost? Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Many of you have asked me about health insurance and what I do for health insurance in the Philippines. I've done a previous video about PhilHealth and advise you to check that out. It's not a complete health program. It is Philippine government sponsored. A couple of years ago, they raised the premium for foreigners, for expats, and they decreased the benefits, but it's still well worth the amount that it costs, about a little over 17,000 pesos per year, I believe, for an expat. And if you're married to a Filipina, you still have to get your own policy now. You used to be able to come in under their policy. I don't know if any of you who had that coverage through your spouse before were grandfathered in or not. I think everybody had to get their own policy after that. Anyway, I got an email from Cigna Global Health Options the other day and decided to check it out. And this is there was a little in my email. It says a little place to click get a quote, and it brought me to this site, and it is the site is cignaglobal.com, and they're very popular in parts of the U.S. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I have seen that they have offices here in Cebu City for processing various types of things. So they are a worldwide organization, and they don't ask very much information. First name, last name, email address, your date of birth, phone number, and gives you the link to go down to wherever you are. I would be in the Philippines, of course, way down here. Lots of options there. Uh, and then you put your phone number in there, and then what your nationality? What is your nationality? And there again, they have a very huge. They have the main large continents and countries up here, and then I think 160 most of the rest of the world listed down here. And there's the Philippines if you're Filipino, which I'm not, but so I would obviously plug in the United States citizen. That's where I'm from. And where will I be living? Just plug in the Philippines there. I don't know if it'll let me proceed from here. Please, which currency will you pay in? And it doesn't give me a lot of options here. The sterling, the euro, or U.S. dollars. So it doesn't give the option to pay in Philippine pesos or Indian or Chinese currency. So you're limited a bit there, but that really shouldn't be a big issue. Let me see if they will let me. No, they won't. Okay. I've got to fill all that information in. All right, I filled in the information. I did not use my real name here for the purposes of this. I plugged in a birth date, little about a year difference from what I am, and this is the information that it gave me right away. Now, the fact that it didn't ask me any medical questions means that I presume that it's a guaranteed issue. I don't know if that's the case or not, but anytime you have guaranteed issue health policies, and especially if it's international health policies, I presume that it's going to be a higher rate than if they actually rate you based on your health. If you're in good health, generally, you get a better rate. And so originally, when I put my correct date of birth in here, which makes me just about a year younger than this, and everything else pretty much the same, my rate for the silver plan here came out to 380. So it's almost $30 No, it was 384, I guess. Uh, so a little over $20 more per month. These are monthly rates. But let's just go through this real quick. Just give you let you know what your options are. You can choose a deductible, and in the USA, I was in good health, and I carried a policy that had a $2,000 deductible and a 70/30 payment plan. So I paid 30% of the bill after I also paid a $2,000 deductible. But if I choose a say a $750 deductible, that should change my. It did. Okay, it did. Well, I wasn't looking. It changed my cost per month down to $394.70 for the silver plan. Uh, but just for the sake of, let's say you don't want any deductible, it's going to bounce it up there. It's going to cost you more every month, actually, $422.42 approximately, depending upon your age. Now, the silver plan here, overall annual benefits, $1 million US. That includes inpatient, day patient, and accommodation costs paid in full for semi-private rooms. You're going to share a room with somebody. Uh, Total coverage for cancer. No maternity coverage. I certainly hope I don't need maternity care. That would be a terrible shock. No travel safety service, and really that's just a very minimal service where if you're traveling, they will alert you pretty much similar to what the State Department does. Tell you, well, if you're going to travel there, that's a high risk area. And then you can choose the gold plan. That would, for me, it would be $542.30 per month. The benefits go up by $1 million, up to $2 million. There again, inpatient, day patient, accommodation costs paid in full for a private room versus a semi-private room. Total coverage for cancer. Routine inpatient maternity coverage, 100% up to $7,000. There again, I really hope I don't need that. And then they have a platinum plan, $713.56 per month. Unlimited overall annual benefits. Inpatient, day patient accommodation costs paid in full for private room. Total coverage for cancer. Maternity coverage up to $14,000 full coverage. Travel service advice. Can't get that to come up. You have another option here. Percent cost share out of pocket expenses maximum. That's set at 0. Let's say that you want to cut your monthly costs. So we're going to change this. It's 422 up here now. Change this to 10% cost share with a $2,000 out of pocket maximum, and see what that does to your rate. Come on. Okay, drops it down to $394. So not quite $30, about $28 if I'm figuring right in my head. So if you can handle a $2,000 out of pocket expense, it will save you on your monthly costs. Just for the sake of, but just say, let's go back here to 0 out of pocket, bounces back to 422. I'm going to select that. Well, it says see all benefits. Okay, so I clicked on the link for plan details, and it gives me a few things here. It gives me an overview, the plan in details, and modules in detail, so you can go as deep as you want here. They've got a number of quick links here, the overall limit, your standard medical benefits. You might be interested in cancer care. But anyway, let's drop down here to standard medical benefits, and it has them listed by column. The silver plan, which I chose, gold, and platinum. Nursing and accommodation for inpatient and day patient treatment and recovery, paid in full for semi-private room. Operating theater. Hopefully the operating theater is not a theater. Hospital charges, paid in full. Prescribed medicines, drugs, dressings for inpatient or day patient treatment. Treatment room fees for outpatient surgery, paid in full. Intensive therapy, coronary care, high dependency unit, paid in full. Where surgery is provided on an inpatient, day patient, or outpatient basis, paid in full. Specialist consultation fees, paid in full. Hospital accommodation for a parent or guardian. That's interesting. If you had a parent or guardian, they're helping you up to the maximum amount shown per period, which would be 1 million. Would pay up to 1,000 per, I believe, and then gives the amount in euro and British sterling also. If your beneficiaries that's if the beneficiary is under the age of 18, old, needs inpatient treatment, has to stay in hospital overnight. They'll also pay for hospital accommodation for a parent or legal guardian if accommodation is available in the same hospital and the cost is reasonable. Transplant services for organ, bone marrow, stem cell transplants. Will pay for inpatient treatment directly associated with organ transplant for the beneficiary if the transplant is medically necessary. Paid in full. Yeah, you can just read through all this type of thing. Paid in full. Pathology, radiology, diagnostic tests, advanced medical imaging, MRI, CT, PET, different amounts, 5,000. Physiology, complementary therapies, up to the maximum amount per period of coverage. Home nursing, up to 30 days, and the maximum amount shown per period of coverage, 2,500. Rehabilitation, up to 30 days maximum, 2,500. Hospice, internal prosthetic devices. We pay for a prosthetic implant device or appliance which is inserted during surgery. Paid in full. External prosthetic devices, and they have amounts for each different type of device. And ambulance, paid in full if medically necessary. Inpatient cash benefit per night, up to 30 nights per period of coverage. We will make a cash payment to the beneficiary when they receive treatment in a hospital which is covered, stay in the hospital overnight, and have not been charged for their room, board, and treatment costs. My guess is that that would be very unusual because you're going to be charged for your room, board, and treatment costs. Otherwise, if you're not, then they would give you $100 there. Dental treatment in hospital after a serious accident, paid in full. And then a number of other things and facts. Something interesting. I got an email from a friend here not so long ago, and he said that all the hospitals in Mandawi City, Cebu City, are full. And I don't know the details, and I don't know how long that lasted, but those are the kind of things that you can come up against if there's a big need for hospital beds at some point in time. And I know I've heard the same thing happening in areas that I've lived in the U.S. as well. You know, there's flu epidemics. There's different types of issues, and I think they were being treated on the outpatient basis for a while anyway. Cigna, yeah, I think is pretty well known and probably one of the better insurance companies out there. There are many different types of insurance companies that are based in different countries around the world that offer international coverage. And I will try to dig up some additional information there. There's also some Philippine companies that offer coverage. Some of them don't offer to people over 65, only up to 65, but there are others that offer up and above that area, and I'll do a little more research about that. I believe PhilHealth for expats, for foreigners now, is about 17,300 pesos, if I remember right, and at 50 pesos to the US dollar, rounded off to 50, that is about $346 in a year instead of in a month. Doesn't have the extensive coverage it once did, but it's a pretty good deal regardless. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Safe travels to you all wherever you're at, and we'll see you next time.